Now, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who sits on both the Senate Armed Services and the Judiciary Committees. Senator, great to see you tonight. What did you think of the president's assessment of what lies ahead for him this week and who might be easier?
Well, Putin's trying to break NATO and Trump's trying to make it stronger. He's got to push our NATO allies to give more. But when you sit down with Putin, I hope you understand you're sitting down with an enemy of the United States, an enemy of democracy, and don't be confused, Mr. President. Putin's not your friend.
Do you think he is confused about that?
No, not really. I think he's trying to have a good relationship, but a good relationship has to be defined by behavior. Putin's not doing anything good in Syria. He's not doing anything good in Ukraine. He's certainly not a friend of the United States by meddling in our election. So I hope the president will not accept Putin's denial that he had nothing to do with interfering in the 2016 election, because they're still doing it. They're trying to influence the 2018 election. So be tough on Putin, be tough on our European allies, but remember this: NATO is your friend and Putin's your enemy.
You know, there has been some suggestion that the president has floated the idea of lowering our troop numbers in Europe and tying all of this to trade issues. Do you think that's the way to go, or do you think that's dangerous? Senator John McCain basically said today in a tweet that he thinks that's a really bad idea.
I think we need more troops in the Baltic regions, the border countries next to Russia who've been intimidated by Russia. I think we need to keep our presence in Europe. It's been stabilizing since World War II, but we need to reduce trade barriers between us and the Europeans. You can do two things at once. You can have a strong military alliance and fight like hell over trade, and I think we should do both. Have a strong military alliance, which means NATO members need to pay more. The president's right about that. They're not paying enough.
So in terms of the other big news that happened last night, I know that you're very happy about Judge Kavanaugh.
Yes.
And the Women's March folks put out a press release, and perhaps, you know, they need a better fact checker, because this is the press release. It says, in response to President Trump's nomination of XX to the Supreme Court of the United States, the Women's March is releasing the following statement, which goes on to, you know, basically say that this person is a horrible person and that he's going to change the way that we see life here in America. I mean, pretty incredible, just blanket disapproval before they even knew who it was.
Well, President Trump could nominate George Washington and they would all be up in arms. It seems to be that if you're running for president on the Democratic side in 2020 or thinking about it, you have to prove you're the most insane person when it comes to Trump nominees. It's sad to see my colleagues sink so low. This is a well-qualified nominee. He's lived an incredible life. He's one of the greatest conservative minds of his generation. He's every bit as qualified as Sotomayor and Kagan. Every president deserves a chance to pick nominees that are highly qualified. And Brett Kavanaugh is one of the smartest, most qualified people any president could choose as a Republican. What they're saying is elections matter only when Democrats win. We're going to fight back in the Judiciary Committee. We're going to protect this man's good name, and he's going to get confirmed. And I predict Democrats will come on board, because you can't go to these red states and justify a no vote. He's just too well qualified.
What do you say to those who express concern about the Russia investigation and that Judge Kavanaugh's history in protecting executive powers makes them believe that this was sort of a preventative move, that they feel that they're going to have a friend on the court if it ever comes to a question of impeachment for this president?
I think that's a red herring argument. He wrote in 2009, long before Donald Trump even thought about running for president, that a sitting president needs to be able to focus on their job, and if they do something really out of bounds, impeachment is probably the best tool available. There's been a debate for decades about whether or not you can indict a sitting president. So he said nothing out of the ordinary. They're trying to make it something extraordinary when it's not. They're looking for every reason in the world to take this guy down. It's not going to work. He's just too well qualified. And not only would I want him to be on the Supreme Court, I'd like this guy to be my neighbor. What a life he's lived.
All right, I got to leave it there. But do you believe that he will pass in the Senate and that Murkowski and Collins will be on board?
They're two very serious senators. I think they're going to look at him and say he's highly qualified. Yes, I believe not only will he pass with all Republicans, he's going to get a handful of Democrats. And it's sad that he doesn't get 95 or 100 votes. Used to be not this way. And I'm so sad to see the judiciary be beaten up like this. But he's going to get through.
Justice Kennedy was approved 97-0. Senator Graham, always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.